About to go. JT Smith for the TFON podcast here for season 3, episode 13. And I got my guy, my OG, my big dog, Dan Sellers in the building with me tonight. Dan, what's going on?
Man, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. This is the first time, well, I guess the beginning of the year we met up after the fact, but this is the first time in a long time we have, potted after a Bearcats loss, man. And it's the first time in years we've potted after a Bearcats loss in the AAC.
Oh, yeah.
So think about that. I want to say their last loss in the AAC was in 2019, which is crazy just to think about it, right? And the Bearcats lost on the road 25-21 against the UCF Knights at the Bounce House. And it was a game that I personally just don't think the offense did enough. I mean, even though the defense gave up 505 yards, did my research today, looked at it again, thought I was tripping, but I thought they made enough plays to keep the team in the game. Obviously, they only lost by 4 points, but I just don't think the offense held their end of the bargain, on the road, honestly. And we talked about this, just what was your big takeaways from the game on Saturday?
I think I have so many takeaways. First of all, before we get into this, we have a good time on Bearcat Nation at the on Facebook. So I wanted to shout out a couple people up, so they can hear themselves on the podcast because I'm definitely posting that. I got James, Jesse, John Hankins. We got Kyle Black. Shout out to you, Donald Minich, Betty Brown, Tyler Jenkins, Dwayne Hightower, Jeff Hitt, Connie Gonahan. I know I said that wrong. Brian Hugden. These are some of the people that we chat back and forth on. I know you get on there every once in a while.
Yeah.
Jay Belcher. So just want you guys to know that we appreciate you, especially checking in on the podcast. But going back to your question, I said this year on the first podcast that we would lose 2 games, and I honestly thought that Central Florida would be that second loss. I would be lying if I wasn't afraid that we might lose another one or maybe even 2 if we keep doing the things that we're currently doing. And I know that, everybody wants to stay positive, and this is just positive criticism, if you will, because it's the truth. The truth is always positive.
Yeah.
But I think since the season has gone, I think these 2 coordinators have gotten weary mentally and have kind of sunk into certain traits and certain grooves that has done no favors to the players. And everybody's talking about the fact that how do you rush 3 on the last 2 drives when you got a quarterback who's not a backup, by the way. The kid won 9 games last year, so that's far from a backup, but a kid who hadn't played a lot this year. And you sit back, you got the leading sack defense in the country, one of the top sack defenses in the country. You got the leader in sacks at linebacker, and for the second game in a row where there was a scrambling quarterback, they put the guy at spy. That doesn't correlate any sense to me. I don't understand. Even if you're going to rush 3 and have a spy, at least have one of those 3 flushing so you can go make the tackle with the spy.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like Alabama and some of these other games, it just seems like Tressel just falls into the same trap. And it's like he's coaching scared, and it's like he's coaching like a guy that never played the game. And I don't know his background as an athlete. I wouldn't know. But as a guy who lined up, and played at Cincinnati in professional football, I know that 7 beats 3 anytime, or 5 beats 3 anytime. And even on the run game, you can't sit that linebacker back when you only have 3 down linemen. You got to hit a gap. You got to make them responsible. So
yeah,
it was like they fell asleep. And on offense, I don't know if it was so much Geno as it was just Ben just hitting his wall. It just seems like he's hit a wall.
yeah,
And it's like, and I hate to say it, but he's, and I told you at the beginning of the year when he had a great game against Arkansas numbers wise, and then backed it up the next game, I said he just doesn't pass the eye test for me for the next level. He's playing like an average, MAC quarterback right now, and there's no throws that you go wow. There's nothing about his persona right now that would tell you like, hey, I got to be prepared for this guy. He makes the throws 90% of the time, but those 5%, when those guys are wide open, he's throwing it in the dirt, he's throwing it over their heads. Those are the ones that count, quite honestly. So, and then if he's not throwing the way we need him to throw and accurately, he can't hurt us any other way, because the running game is, they blitz 90% of the time. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that. They blitzed 90%.
I didn't know it was 90, but I knew they were sending the dogs. So I definitely knew that.
They were run blitzing and pass blitzing every single time. Yep. And when they did run the RPO, which somebody on Bearcat Nation didn't know what the hell that was, but yet they were very boisterous. I mean, run pass option. Yeah. There is no fear that if he does tuck the ball, he won't trip over his shoelaces. And I'm not saying that to be mean to the guy, and and I know a lot of fans are mad because people are telling the truth about what they feel and all that good stuff, but just the God's honest truth. And I'm not a Prather guy. I'm not a anti-Ben guy. It's at the very, very least, you're cheating us by not having a package with the running quarterback to at least soften up, the first and second down runs. Mm-hmm. It's mind-boggling to me that they don't have that package. Yeah. And, that's that safety in the end zone. Again, it's like he tackled himself. And I hate to, like I said,
no, for sure.
I don't want to be hypercritical.
No. But I mean,
he's a college kid, because he's only doing what he's supposed to do, been taught to do. But so I'm, I was trying to not be the guy to say take him out and all that other stuff. Yeah. But it really looked bad, and then he wasn't playing defense on the last 2 drives. But I'm like you. I don't blame the players, because Tressel it was ridiculous. You're playing off guys, number one, and so
you only 3.
You can't insulate that offense any better than what he did. He played the guys off, and then he didn't rush. Yeah. So what? I don't understand that. I really don't understand where it was coming from. Yeah. So, sure. And I just hope that Vic just has, a deep, a thinking session and a come to Jesus meeting with itself, and really takes the bull by the horn. And I know it's exhausting, because it's a year-round job. Yeah. And you get this part of the season, you're getting 4 hours of sleep for 3 or 4 weeks straight, and if he can just take a look inside and really ascertain what it's going to take to get this team playing up to their capacity. If they play at their capacity, they're undefeated this year. He's done a great job of recruiting, hell of a job, and everybody loves the guy. He's loyal, but you got to get called on the carpet too sometimes.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has to, you got to get called to the carpet per se. But like my thing, doubling down, um, Tressel, I feel like just in the games that they lose, are the games that are even tight. I feel like people can run the ball on them, and they can run the ball mostly at will.
Right.
And I feel like they don't adjust to those teams because you knew this team was going to try to run their quarterback. And I feel like the 3-3-5, which I love for when their teams are passing, but I feel like they have the athletes to be able to morph into different fronts sometimes. You know what I mean? Where I think they don't morph into different fronts where, or even if they want to keep the 3-3-5, I think they should keep one. Like I think like a Jaheim Thomas can essentially cheat and be an end if the team is running a lot, like where he can legit just line up, even if his hands not in the dirt, where they don't even fake it. You know, it's like, look, you gotta count to block me, so I can't double at the point of attack. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they ran for over 250 yards. Every team that beats them or comes close to beating them runs for a hefty amount of rushing yards. And and it's not like they don't have the players. They might have some people that are inexperienced, but they have the bodies to be able to make it work. So it's not like you can have excuse of maybe injuries. They did have two people that are out per se. One's not coming back. One should be maybe be back this week. And Jabari Taylor. No, Jabari Taylor. Yep. But I feel like they're strong enough as a core and as a team where that, I mean, he's definitely experienced, but I don't think that was end all be all. I feel like they just didn't adjust the right way to me personally.
There was zero adjusting. When you run a 3-3-5, you have to blitz almost every play. Yeah, that's the power of the 3-3-5 because you don't know which linebacker is coming, you don't know which gap they're going to hit. But if you sit there, again, it's simple math. It's 5 against 3. And then you got a linebacker 5 yards off the ball.
It's easy. It's easy.
Who by the way is 5'11", and you know he's 230, but you put a 300-pounder 6'6" and just in front of him, he's not going to be effective back there in the defensive backfield. He's going to be effective coming forward, and that's what he's been the first 5-6 games. He's been outstanding, and it's almost like they don't want him to win the Buckets Award, and you know, those are the type of coaches I hated to play for. And those are the coaches that have I hate to see a defensive coach with a chart because that means he has no idea of the feel of the game. He has no idea of the psychology of the game. You know, offensive coaches, you got down and distance. Defensive coaches watch the game. And when they're being pressured by the run or beat in certain, with certain routes, you make adjustments. You kept talking about adjustments, and so when you're sitting there like, oh, it's 3rd and 48, 3rd and 10, so my chart tells me to do this, then you got a problem, and that's what Tressel is. When you ain't out there, if you've never, and I'm not saying that you have to have played the game to understand how to call a game, especially on the defense side. But when you know what it's like to play over a tired tackle, for example, or if a quarterback is hurt, or if a quarterback doesn't want to get outside the pocket, he wants to get rid of the ball pretty quick. Then as a coach, you set the defense tighter. You set to make quicker plays because he's trying to get rid of the ball. So you set the defensive backs closer and tighter so they can get a jump on the ball.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. So we played Tulsa and we blitzed almost every freaking play.
Yeah.
We had 12 sacks or whatever it was, 9 sacks. And he did the same thing last year a few times. And so I really, it's hard for me to think, as good as a coach as Luke Fickell is, that he's not making those adjustments. And, I just hope so, because I remember a coach, defense, I can't remember his name, and we used to talk all the time, defense coordinator for Tommy Tuberville. I got a bunch of UC gear he gave me when he left. Cincinnati gave me all his stuff, and I can't even think of his name right now. I can look it up on my phone. But anyway,
Yeah.
I asked him. I remember we played Purdue, and I asked him after the game. I met him out. We had a beer,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why in the heck on those some of those pass plays, the quarterback, the defensive ends weren't, continuing on the field because they were turning around. I don't know what they were doing. He was like, well, that's what Tuberville wanted. Like, you don't want to get a sack. I don't like so. That reminds me of that type of coach, and the guy who was a coach's son, which he is, and and I don't want to beat up on the guy, but it was glaring to people who know football that the second half we played 3-man football. We had a true 3-man front. As if it was 4th and 35 or something like that. And so so that I don't know. Honestly, it scares me a little bit in that sometimes these coaches they get fatigued and tired and in this part of the season and they take their eye off the ball, and I just hope that's not the case. So I just hope instead of that, it's a wake-up call, because these next games, 3 games? Yeah. This is the typical the American Conference against UC. They come out to try to beat them, and now they smell blood in the water. And I will tell you, as bad as we played, we still should have won that game.
That's the crazy thing, man. That's the crazy thing. You lose by 5 points. You take a safety. You know what I mean? You take a safety.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you take it, in the awareness in that last drive, it's rough. Like I think personally, like they have to. I don't know. It sounds like just from been able to make the presser, but a couple of my guys made it. Listen to the presser. I don't think Ben gets benched, but I think
it's close.
I think he has to come out on point against Navy. I highly believe that, just personally, and this is just my thinking. This is not anything from the inside is telling me, but I feel like he has to come out on point against Navy, and if he doesn't, I don't see where they have. Personally, I don't see what they lose if they play Evan. You know what I mean? Like at this point in the season, after losing, you lose. I mean, you still can win the conference. So I understand they still have the end game, but at the same time, they're not in control the way they would have if they would have beat UCF Saturday. So at the end of the day, they don't have anything to lose to play Evan. They only have stuff to gain. Personally, I think that's just me.
No,
football, you know what I mean?
I said the same thing, man. I said that this, first of all, you got to look at reality.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is you got 3 regular season games. And there's a very good chance we'll be in the championship game. So that's 4.
Yeah, there's actually 4 and maybe 5 now. Because they still... It's actually 4 and 5. They got 4 left. Because I'm actually working on something.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's 3. It's 4 left. Yeah, you're right. So you got okay. At the most, you got 6 games left, right?
Yep. At least. At least 5.
Right. And to be honest, and it does not benefit you that Ben comes back and play next year, unless he grows to be 6'5" and run a 4.3 40. I just don't see the benefit of this kid sitting on the bench another year next year, which will probably mean he'd be gone. If he finds out he's not starting next year, or at least, put in a position to play.
Yeah.
And I think if I had to critique Luke this year, I would say the fact that they have not found a way to get this kid a chance, because unless you just don't want him to play, unless he's just not any good. And I've had no one tell me that from any of my sources, and even the kids that that I know on the team.
Yeah.
And you know, I know the medical staff so well because I used to work with them.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot. And I won't mention any names, but they're high on the kid as if, you know, he can be something for us for the future. So I think the biggest mistake that could happen and is that he doesn't give this kid an opportunity to play, because what you cannot throw him in the fire in the Big 12 next year. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Ben he may go, he may take his 6 years somewhere, but I think you really have to give your next 3-year guy, an opportunity. And I think that's been the biggest mistake. And I'm not saying he could have came in and won the game. I'm not even saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying give the
Yeah.
kid some meaningful playing time, so when he does get in the game, he's not all, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you know, like he was that last time he got in the game. And you know, but he maintained the ball, and we went down and scored. But you know, so I don't, like I said, I don't want to get in the Ben and Prather thing. That's just that's not healthy. That's not going to help us. But I'm just going to be brutally truthful that, you know, I think we could win a conference championship with him. I think we can also win it with Ben. But I think the ideal situation is to start letting this kid play and let Ben understand that this is your last year.
Yeah.
You know, there's a maturation situation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And you know, and Luke has to look at the next 3 years and who his leader is going to be for the next 3 years. And with the portal, you know, you just can't take a chance on this kid leaving without seeing what he can do. I mean, it would be stupid on anybody's account that if you had a kid that talented that you can just, the way he walks on the field, that you don't give him an opportunity. I mean, that's what Auburn does. You know, Auburn got a kid look just like him. You know, they throw alike, they run alike. You know, and he's getting a shot. He's not great. Don't get me wrong. But next year, you at least know if he's going to be the guy or not.
Yeah. True.
So, so that's all I'm saying. You know, and you know, some of these people on Facebook, and they get so deep and they get political, and it's like the alt-right and the alt-left. Like I said on Facebook today, it's crazy. Like, hold on, man. We're talking about football. And we're allowed to be objective about what we see and what we, you know, have experienced.
For sure.
And so what I see, my personal opinion is that you got to have a package for him. If they have a package for him, and the thing about it, teams are waiting for that to happen and anticipating. That's why we won that one game when he came in the game, and our running game just exploded because they were expecting him to keep the ball, so everybody was chasing him because they knew about it. You know, he was a threat, and he was very effective. He's been extremely effective in every game that he played in.
For sure.
And so, if not, put him at wide receiver. You know, god dang. You know, that's so. I don't care what you do, but I really don't, man. I just think that we can't afford to have talent like that just sitting on the bench and not contributing whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that for sure.
I mean, were they lying to us when they said it was a game time decision to start Ben Bryant?
So, it wasn't a game time decision. I think that was more gamesmanship. But I do know the battle wasn't like settled like ASAP. But I knew that who was going to be the starter before they announced it.
Oh yeah, I think we all did.
Everybody knew that, but it wasn't like right before. But I do know like it definitely went deep into fall camp or whatnot. That part wasn't scared. That part wasn't scared. But it wasn't like right before they snapped the ball. They're like, Ben, go out there. You know what I mean? You starting today. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it
Now,
wasn't that close. You know what I'm saying? But it was
no,
close.
I
You know what
get
I'm
it.
saying? But
And
it wasn't like he came in there like, I don't know, coach. You know what I'm saying? But let Evan play. It wasn't like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
man.
it's yeah. I definitely I think so. Just like the Arkansas game was rough, but I gave him a pass first game,
Yeah,
right? On the
yeah,
road. This game, the throws you have to make, you expect your senior to make. He has a strong arm. And then the safety and the sacks, a couple of the sacks he took, you don't, just being honest, you don't want your quarterback taking that. But if it was Evan, he's younger, you can kind of roll. You got more of okay, he's growing. This is a different experience. But when it's a senior taking that, you don't look at it the same. Like far as me, like the lens that I look at it, like I look at it like my son. I got a eighth grader and I got a third grader. And I mean, if the gap is bigger than Evan and what we call it, it's not to do that, but it's just like, all right, my oldest son does something, I expect more from him. But if it was my youngest son and he makes a mistake, I'm like, we can grow from this. But I like that you got to experience that part or XYZ that you haven't experienced, if that makes sense. And that's kind
yeah.
of how I look at it. Like, I think my youngest would be a little bit better because he experienced it a little bit earlier than my oldest. You know what I mean? So then he might have a better chance. He got a leg up on a certain situation. You know what I mean? But and that's how I look at it. But I just think the safety, he can't take that because like you got it's third and four. You're trying to keep the. I think that was before half, right? Or that right after that was in third quarter, right? Third quarter.
Yeah.
It was because it was 10-6. So you close defense makes a stand, gets a fumble when they're about to score, get you. It's not the best position, but you guys could have been down 11 points at least, or at least down 7 at the worst, or at the best, right? They get the fumble. It's third and four. You only got so much time. You got one read, and if you get off that read fast, you might have two. And if you get to two and it's not there, you got to throw it away. You can't
Mm-hmm.
hold it. You know that. Like everybody knows that watches some football. You got one read, boom. If you can get off that read fast enough, two, and if it's not there, you got to get it out. You can't take that. You can't take that play. You just cannot take that. And if that was Evan, all right, maybe he hasn't been in that position. You can kind of massage it a little bit, but as a senior, it's not as acceptable. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you know what I mean? Like it's just not. And I think that play was like, okay, you might have to start thinking about getting Evan some more clock. And that's not saying you have to bench him, but I think you have to give him more of a package where it's not just one play. It might be, you might have to throw him, you might start having a platoon. Do like like Ohio State did back in the day when they had Joe Germain and Stanley Jackson. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Joe Germain was the better pocket passer. Stanley Jackson could throw a little bit, and he was the threat to run like that. Or Tim Tebow and what's my man name? Chris Leak at Florida.
Yeah.
Like you might have to do that a little bit, and then it gives them both experience if you don't want to pull a certain person. But I think they have to look at that seriously. Like it has to be something they think about, and because I don't really from the overall. The running game was rough, but it was more so the sacks. Like I looked at it, they were the second half. I feel like they started running the ball a lot better, but I think Ben was negative. It was 3 rushes, negative 41 yards. They didn't set the world on fire, but I think what he did, I mean, him getting sacked and getting big sacks didn't help. That Russian attack. I thought he did a little bit better in the second half, but I think those sacks kind of made it look real, real bad. And it wasn't a normal Bearcats game. But
I mean, they just never got a spark, man.
And you can't.
And I mean, offensive line played pretty bad because they were under pressure the whole game. And, and they were second to guessing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the run game.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, God dang, how many coaches would kill to have a switch up quarterback that can come in the game and make them think?
Exactly. Yeah, they need it.
Like I said, you can bring him in the game and put him in wide receiver. I don't care.
Yeah.
But he's that type of athlete that if he's in the game, you got to pay attention to him.
Yeah.
If you put him at defensive end, you got to pay attention to this guy because he's an athlete.
He is an athlete.
And so it just kills me that we're not utilizing that talent right there, and I don't know why it is. And you know, I don't care what level he's. I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to put him in as a starter.
Yeah.
Put him as a football player. He's a football player.
Yeah.
And utilize him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, so I think that's the part that you know is frustrating to me. And the other part is like, you know, you have to get ready, believe it or not, for next year as well. So you can't just wake up and, well, you know, maybe they can, because, you know, nowadays it's a transfer portal. You know, people transfer out, people transfer in. But I don't want to see Texas quarterback here, or I don't want to see Bo, you know, somebody from Auburn, and I don't want to see somebody's retread. I mean, honestly, I don't. You know, we haven't had that. I don't know in how long, but
it's been a minute.
You know, and so I don't mind seeing a defensive end come from Alabama. I don't care if he was third team, you know, but to come see a guy who, you know, who got who started 4 games for Ole Miss, and now he wants to transfer to the Big 12. I don't want to see that. I mean, you know, I don't want to see a that's what the Big 12 is all about. If you look at the Big 12, man, all you got is a bunch of retread quarterbacks that are, you know, like the kid at Kansas State and the kid at Texas. I mean,
West
like,
Virginia,
what this dude over there, like,
Spencer, lottery trash.
Spencer, what's his name? I don't even know. You know, first round draft choice from last year, who at the beginning of the season that ended up getting benched. Yeah, so I mean, unless you sending me the kid from Alabama or the kid from Ohio State, don't send me no more. I don't want to see that. We got guys that can play. Let's grow them. You know, but like I said, but on the other hand, I'll take a defensive end from Alabama and a left tackle from Wisconsin. LSU right away. I ain't got a problem with that. I just don't want to be going through all this drama with these quarterbacks.
I feel you.
You know. So
I feel you on that. Because man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, the thing is, glass half full. They still have everything in front of them, which is crazy. Because on Saturday I was so like taking out the media part of it just as a fan, like, this is bad. But like looking at it, like they still have everything in control. They still play Tulane last game of the year, which I think that game could possibly be a game they could play back to back, maybe, depending on, because I mean, I feel like SMU, UCF plays Memphis, I think, at Memphis this week. That's a losable game for UCF, but it's also a winnable game for them as well. The UC plays Navy. A triple option is always something that I just can't wait till we don't have to worry about that. But it is what it is. So hopefully they handle business, because that's just a hell of a contrast after that UCF game. But I'd rather them play another running quarterback right now.
I mean, there's the only good thing about playing Navy is that their game is uglier than ours. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how Navy fans feel about watching their team play, because their game is so hard to watch, and ours have been the same way. You know, but I don't know, man. I mean, these kids gotta bow back, and I mean, I always I try to do the positive after I'm critically profound, I guess. The positive is there's a lot of talent on this roster, and guys are stepping up and stepping in to the point where you don't even know half the guys that are playing, and they're playing well. You know, they make a play like, oh, who is that guy? You know, I don't know him. You know, oh no, I remember he came from such and such. So that's the positive. But your key players, you know, they have to step up, man. Some of them have. you know, Ben, you can tell Ben is reading the newspaper clippings because, you know, he's playing like a wet puppy at sometimes, you know, with his head down a little bit. And if he's going to be the guy, he's going to have to, you know, shake that off.
Yeah,
and,
you got
yeah, because I mean, when he's bad, he's really bad. And that's the sad part about it. I mean, he's like really like, where'd they get this guy? You know, but
he's
good. But when he's good, he's really good.
Legit,
he's really, really good. He makes throws. He makes some hard throws.
Yeah. I literally said that on the UCF pod. Like, I talked to the guy, whatever, Rivals, and I was like, man, like, he's been solid because, you know, his highs are real high, but his lows are real low. But, like, and everything I said they couldn't do, they did. And that's what, and I was like, if they do that, then if they play like they did against SMU, they're not going to win a game. But that's what scared me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, they can win this game, but they can lose it. And it wasn't like that UCF was just like purely the better team or anything like that. It just,
not even close.
Yeah, I just feel like we didn't make the right adjustments, and then we didn't make the plays. Like, it was a couple plays that I feel like if Ben hits, it makes the defense second guess. Besides, say, you know what, we about to just pin our ears back and just keep coming for y'all. I think everything else would have opened up.
Absolutely.
You overthrow, you dirt ball a couple, and they're like, shit, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? F coming, F holding back. We about to keep coming until you burn me. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree, man. No, I agree. I think I think hopefully, you know, Tressel, hopefully he listens to people who know football, and you know, even people who don't, who just understands what they see. I mean, it's I mean, you know what I'm saying? it's only criticism when you don't see it. You know, it's like people are saying that, you know, why are you running 3? You know, I'm on 3 for different modalities, you know, screening the game, Facebook, and you know, I got a group of guys, all ex-players going way back before me, and some guys that just got finished play pro ball, and they're all saying the same thing. So we all can't be wrong. We all can't be, you know, ignorant to the fact that you rush 3 guys and they're trying to move the ball downfield, and you don't even really put the extra guy in coverage. You got him spying. Why are you still spying? You got the backup in.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I mean, I just like he's one of those guys, and that burned me up about him last year. He's one of those guys who has that sheet and has got it over his face, you know, like praying to God that he calls the right play. You know, and that's a you see a lot of that because there's and I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm probably sure it is. There's a lot of nepotism in coaching, you know, or it's the guy that, you know, he you know, he's been getting into the office at 4:00 and staying till 10. He's an attaboy, that old attaboy thing, and you know, next thing you know, he's a head coach at Miami Dolphins. Did I say that out loud? Oh,
the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So you know what it is, and I need not speak on that anymore as far as, you know, nepotism and coaching situations, but you know, he's had some good games that he called though, and I mean, I think that Tulsa game, he was right on point. You know, so
for sure. Like,
with the negative, I'll give you the positive, but the last 2 games, I give him I give him just a little bit higher than Garbage Juice in August in Arizona. I would lower it to Garbage Juice in Alabama. But it was total garbage juice.
But it's still in the summer though?
Yeah, it's still in the summertime. The second half. First half, he wasn't even that bad.
No, he wasn't. The second half,
you know,
it's like they start scoring and then he started playing loose.
Right. and hopefully some of the people on Bearcat Nation, they watch this podcast, because I posted yesterday, because people got upset because there was a slight bit of criticism about this was last week when we won, and so I posted saying, I mean, are we allowed to voice our opinion, and so hopefully they can look at this and understand kind of where we come from and where some of the other people who post is where we come from, and it's not from a place of dissent or anger. We're not even angry, because I said 9-2, and I'm confident that we can win out. But which would be 10-2, right?
Yeah, 10-2 now. Yeah.
So I'm confident that we win out. So I'm not, but would I be upset if Notre Dame fires my guy and we hire him back as a defensive coordinator? No. No, I would not. I would not. And I think Tressel has his best games ahead of him, hopefully.
For sure.
But I wouldn't be if he got the head coaching job at Youngstown State Penguins. I would not be. I wouldn't be upset. Matter of fact, I watch him on Wednesday night in action when they play. So. Even if they're not even in there.
They ain't even in MAC.
But I got you, man. Coach Tressel, I think that you're wasting your talents with the Bearcats. I think you'd be better served at Princeton High School running the triple option like they used to do to us back in the day.
Oh, snap.
But
man.
No, I'm just joking. Right?
No, he said numbers. Hey, cool. Hey, you went on the rant right there. You gotta let it off your chest. Sometimes you gotta let it off your chest, man. That's all. Sometimes you gotta let it off your chest.
Hey, I got something right off the.
Yeah, I feel you. Mentally,
that's a little courage juice. I only had a little bit with. I only had one can with my wife for dinner, so I'm not inebriated in any manner.
No, you good.
So, but I do want to say that. I mean, and Gino, hey man, wake up, buddy. I mean, you got it in you, and you're gonna have to earn your keep for the rest of the season. We got to seriously fix the boat right now. It's not sinking. We're taking on a little bit of water.
Yeah.
We still have the best athletes in the conference.
We do, man. That's the thing. That's the thing that's why I'm so they didn't have the athletes. You can be like, all right, they just playing what they playing. You can make the adjust. It's what can you do? You know what I mean? Sometimes what can you do? You schemed them where you can scheme them. Sometimes you just ain't got the horses for the fight or the bullets for the gun. You might have a 9mm. I don't know if you want to talk, but you might have 380 bullets, so you can't. Now your gun ain't shooting right. You know what I'm saying? Or it might not shoot at all, shooting blanks almost. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the Bearcats. You know what I'm saying? That's not them. They got the horses for the race. I just think the O-line hasn't been great, but it haven't been terrible. That's the thing for me. And then I just think they have to get those gimme plays, them little plays have to be made. And when they get off track this year, it just hasn't been. It's been boom or bust. They either hit the big play, hit the big drive, or they go 3 and out. The 3 and outs are killing them. UCF out.
And the field goals in the end zone. I mean, the red zone.
Red zone. You can't have those. You can't have those. You got to score 7. Just you get down there and nothing happens. Can't have that. And then the 3 and outs are killing them because they got outplayed. Now, if that makes sense, is that the right thing? Outplayed. It was 84-64. So you gave UCF 20 more plays and you lose a game by 5 points.
Right.
Just think about it. And you have a safety in there. You have a safety in there, you give them 20 more plays. And that's not even looking at the scheming part of it. you give them 20 more plays.
No,
and
you're right.
And you got a safety. And you lose on the road by 5 points.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah. They have to change the mentality and make teams conform to them defensively.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest, to me, the biggest challenge that I put forth to Princeton's High School future coach, Mr. Tressel. The Penguins next. Matter of fact, if the Penguins lose this year, I mean, this guy is your guy. Come and get him. I give him a thumbs up. But
oh, man.
I just so I just really think that we need to go ahead and put the pedal to the metal and let the chips lie or fly or land where they may. And really start being aggressive and being that number one sack team. It's one thing to be the number one sack team, but it's another thing. It's like the Buccaneers. They'll sack a quarterback, but they can't stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're relying on number 45 and number 54 to do everything. Yeah. And that's what we're doing with Ivan Pace. And let Hubert be the freaking spy. He's not your most aggressive guy. I mean, he makes plays when he needs to make them.
Yeah.
But that little freaking Ivan Pace is a demon, man. He's man. He's like a little troll. I've watched him lift 300-pounders off the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Get to the ball when he plays so hard. It breaks my heart sometimes when they run away from him, and he beats his man and he's in his right gap, and then we collapse on the backside and they get the first down or whatever. And so it's not the same defense that started the season, scheme wise. And I just hope that I just hope that Tressel does what he needs to do.
You pointed out that him doing the spy stuff, man.
Yeah,
after that I was like, oh yeah, I did notice that. Like
that's NFL stuff. That's when you got Von Miller at defensive end.
Yeah, yep.
That spy crap is ridiculous, and it's ridiculous in college. Let people play their position. You're spying like this kid was going to run from 500 yards. I'm like, this kid has not run from over 100 yards. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, especially but I wouldn't spy Pace. I want him coming toward the ball. Like,
you're
if you're gonna do it,
the spy is gonna know if Pace is coming off the left edge. Well, he knows to be favor to right.
Yeah, favor to right. You ain't got to worry about being left. You ain't got to worry about left. Because Pace got that side control,
right?
For real, and it's almost like cheating.
Yeah,
because I can cheat right because Pace is coming left, and most people aren't going to be able to block Ivan Pace. Not 9 out of 10. I don't care what team you're playing. If you got him coming downhill and let him be who he is, he's probably going to win 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10. And
if he doesn't win, hey, you shake their hand and come back to it because he's going to probably win the next one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shake their hand. Hey, you caught a good play. You got a good block because he's a monster. But yeah, man. So what do you think? So I know we talked about this. I know we had to get this off our chest, so I'll let us just go. But so with 4 games left, they have Navy next at home. They have ECU who beat UCF before they beat us, right? And then they have Temple on the road, and then they finish with Tulane at home. Yeah, Tulane is kind of before we even lost to UCF. Tulane start putting their footprints in the ground.
Yeah,
and I thought they were the dark horse in the conference because they were the ones that haven't played that game that looked like they should have lost. They've been just like handling business to me. At least the games I've been paying attention to, they've been handling business and just taking names.
Well, Yeah, I will tell you this. Beginning of the year, the Sun Belt was making a lot of noise. Now they kind of calmed down. And then when you look at the major conferences, everybody was concerned about Texas and Oklahoma leaving. And I said this last year, just kick their ass. And that's what's been happening. They've been getting their ass kicked every Saturday. So I look at the American Conference, no lie. Even though we don't have a ton of ranked teams now, because everybody's kind of beating up on everybody. I look at them as the Big 12 2.0, because the Big 12 is the most complete conference. Now they don't have the Alabamas or the Georgias.
Yeah, you're saying the Ohio State. You're saying
But every Saturday, you got to bring your bucket, man. I mean, you can't even go up in Kansas no more.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's
crazy, man.
Yeah, you can't even roll up in Kansas in the bins. You got to roll up in there in the tank, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And so the same thing with the American. I mean, where is East Carolina? Somebody please tell me.
Okay.
I mean, tell me what East Carolina. We played there my senior year. It was like, I don't know where we landed and where we were. And
all I know is crazy is I didn't realize where it was until we went to like the Outer Banks one year, right before this, like 3 years ago, like right when COVID hit or whatever. And like I'm watching the regular news and they like, oh yeah, ECU is about to start their season. And I was like, what? We're close to ECU right now? And I was like, what the hell? I've never seen this on TV before. Like, it just threw me off. I was just like, I think I was stuck the rest of the day. Like, it's crazy.
Exactly. They're the biggest benefactor of being in the American, because nobody know where they came from and how they got relevant. I mean, but they play like they play like people don't respect them.
They do though, man.
And they
I can't
always
lie.
play us. Like, I mean, it's like, yeah. It's like, man, I don't know. It's like playing. I ain't gonna say that because that's not even gonna sound right.
All right.
It's so. I was gonna say something. I was a personal experience, but I wanted to say it. But no, I will say this. Like we I ain't gonna say that because it's not politically correct.
All right.
But I remember scrimmaging a group of kids who had no business athletically, hanging with us. This was Little Leagues. And like, we would make the tackle 15 yards behind the line, and then, you try to get up and go to your huddle. They're still blocking you. They're not paying attention to the whistle. That's what these kids are like. I mean, that's what East Carolina. It's like they feel like they can whoop us anytime we're going to, even though they haven't beat us in I don't know how many years since Jeff Blake was there. But
Blake.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was covering them some way. But so I think that is not even a trap game. That is a game of survival. That's going to be a survival game.
Yeah, they no trap. That game is no trap game. Yeah, because they kind of the outside looking in. I feel like I looked at. They might be it's Tulane, UCF, UC, Houston, or is it ECU? It might be ECU actually.
ECU, I think. Yeah,
it's ECU because Houston's kind of on the outside looking in, really on the outside looking in. But it's those four. It's really right now the top three are UC, Tulane, Tulane, UCF. But right now, Tulane, UCF are kind of have control of their. But everybody's going to kind of play each other. I feel like UC plays Tulane. I feel like UCF plays Tulane. So I feel like it's kind of round robin. But UC still has ECU in the pot, and that's what's the scary part for UC. Like they can't. Yeah. They cannot take ECU for lightly at all.
I'm gonna tell you that, man. That quarterback that they have is so underrated. I mean, he's been in college, man. I mean, Jesus.
It feels like he's been here at least 10 years.
Yeah,
like he got a 10-year deal. But But
I
he's
mean,
legit though. Like
yeah,
he's
he's
legit.
legit, man.
He
He's
can
like,
move a little bit.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he could throw it solid. Like he ain't got the rocket arm, but he can make the good throws. He's more athletic than you think. Like then he could throw it a little bit farther than you expect. Like it's
yeah,
just like I don't know. I feel like he'll be a backup for somebody in the league. Like dude,
yeah.
he's solid, man. Like
That's
you'll look up
that
one
is
day, like
exactly right.
like
What's
you'll
the
look
kid?
up on.
That's Fitzpatrick right there.
Yep, it is. It is. It's the second coming. Like he'll play 15 years in the NFL. We'll look up and he'll be like starting sometimes. You'll be like, damn, I remember this dude. Where do I remember from? ECU. That's him. Like he's definitely about to make a lot of money playing football. Like flat
Yeah.
out.
No,
Flat
I
out.
mean, I agree. He's man, and he's a handful, man. And if we
Yeah.
sit back and do that jump we did before, he's gonna pick us apart.
Yeah.
You know,
You
he's a
gotta.
guy you have to get on the ground,
Yep.
and I believe that about any. I'm a defensive guy. I believe about any quarterback. You just get them on the ground. You hit them enough, they'll stop running. You know, they'll start throwing it away.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. So I just believe that we got the better team. We just gotta, everybody wants us to go kind on Fickle and all that. So we're gonna go kind. Just do your job, sir. I mean, get your coaches together and understand, what you need to understand to win. You know better than I do. You're the one making the $7-8 million and a year. So, but we do see it. It's not like we don't see it and don't understand football. There's only so many things you can do on a football field, and and we're just having problems watching it at times, and it's been totally controllable from either a coaching or a discipline standpoint, and that's it, man. That's all I got for you, bro. We got it off our chest. We went an hour on that behind.
Yeah, we did, man. I was aiming for 30 minutes, but I saw you were rolling. I was just laying it out there. I was like, I feel like Dwayne Wade, when he threw that pass to LeBron, I just threw it off, and you see the picture, he go like that. I was like, just letting you roll.
Hey,
that's not to cut you off.
No, thank you. Thank you, Doc. That was
no.
That I mean, I feel like I got up off the couch. Now I can.
You can. Bills in the mail, man. Don't even worry about it.
Watch the end of this Maction game or something.
Yeah.
Have a great day tomorrow and close some of these deals folders I've been looking at for the last 2 to 3 weeks and go on out here and then all that good stuff. My dog's over here asleep. I'm gonna show the audience what
the audience dog knocked out. Hey, he's stretched out.
Yeah. Oh, he's right there next to me. This is my little office, but we watch a lot of the games. But we watch a lot of the games outside on the patio by the pool. Got a couple TVs out there, and man, I swear to God, when Ben got sacked, he just gave me that sad look, like, Daddy, what we gonna do?
What we gonna do? I was like, oh man, that's great. Yeah, but survived it.
Yeah,
hey, they still got a shot, man. Like I'm literally working on something, talking about that now. I just gotta finish it up, man. I went to my son's practice thinking I was about to get my type on, and then end up just running into a brother in there that had a 6th grader. And just end up chopping it up, and then find out dude was cool with who my oldest son play baseball with, like a couple years or whatever. So it was just like crazy, just small world, 6 degrees of separation. Yep. So then I ended up talking too much. We both ended up talking too much, and then I ain't do nothing. So I thought I was gonna have my stuff already done, and it ain't work out that way. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but then we got here. I'm like 30 minutes, maybe 40. Whole hour, it ain't chopping none of this up. It's going up. It's going up.
Yeah, man, let's do
it's going up. It's going up.
Let's keep it 100 tonight. Hopefully, we ain't gotta have too many of these conversations.
No, man. Hopefully, it's the last time we really gotta deal with this part of the part. I mean, we've been spoiled, but at the same time, you could feel something like this was going to happen, and that's the thing. Man, I don't want it to. I kept trying to be like, all right, it's not. They're gonna fix it. And I started watching the beginning of that first half. I said, this is the one. in my house. I knew it. Like, I knew it. Like, I'm like, this is the one. And then that sack, I was like, that safety. I said, man, this ain't it. This ain't it today.
Normally, my neighbors go in the house when I watch the game because I'm so emotional and you can hear me yelling. I didn't yell one time. I didn't get upset at one time because I knew where we were mentally as a team and proficiency wise. And I thought maybe we had a good chance of losing this game. And I didn't even get overexcited when we went down and scored. We were up 1.
Yeah.
Although I did think, okay, we're gonna win the game. Defense is gonna show up, and then I saw that crappy 3-man front. I couldn't believe it. I was like, come on, man. Close the game down.
Yeah, I feel like the corners they had the corners like at playing like 8-10 yards back.
I
was like, man, this ain't gonna end well. I knew it wasn't gonna end well.
You can't coach scared. If you got the players, you got the players. You got to coach like you got. I mean, these kids are not Sauce and Kobe. Don't get me wrong.
But they ain't chopped liver. Like,
exactly, they ain't chopped liver.
Like, these kids have to get anything.
Just keep your safeties deep so they don't score. But let your corners come up and play and be combative, know. And then you're just wasting a guy spine. Yeah. This kid is dropping back 3 steps, pow, or 4 steps, pow. Yeah. Why you got to spy?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, my man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm sure your wife hates me. Tell her I'm sorry.
It's all good. Like, why are you just going this late? Like, but Zane had practice late, so it was nothing I could do. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in Dallas, so
it's all good. But hey, me, I'll be I'm a night out anyway, so it's my gift and the curse. That's where we go back and forth. You gotta come. I'll be trying to catch whatever game on.
Yeah. Then I wake up every morning, man, around 6:30 and can't sleep, or 6, or So, and I don't have to particularly be in the office until, I don't know, it depends, because sometimes I just go straight to where I need to be. So it's not like I work from home too. So
same.
It is what it is.
Yeah, same. Like, I got an appointment. All right, boom. Got a call. All right. Otherwise, getting up. I got to handle some business. I'll handle it, and then stay on path. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think tomorrow I probably won't go in. Maybe Thursday I'll probably pop in and see what's up. But one of my branches I normally check on, they got some they doing like some reconstruction. So I gotta see if I got some space out there. Otherwise I might not have to go nowhere.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. All right, man. All right, cool. I'm gonna do my last spiel to end it now. So make sure you guys check out the Front Office News. I appreciate my man Dan Sellers letting it off his chest. Speaking for Bearcat Nation, speaking for a lot of the folks, this is a good staff, good team. They just have to. They gotta strap up them pants and them boots, man, because the waters is getting a little muddy. So they gotta stump around like some big dogs. Otherwise, this season can get haywire, because there's some good teams left on the schedule. And make sure you guys check out. Go to 513shirts.com. Get you some TFON gear. Got some hoodies. Working on some hats, t-shirts. Make sure you guys support that and hit the site, man. The Front Office News. I'm JT Smith. I'm signing out.
Peace.
Peace.